Guys, we witnessed a goddamn murder last night. I'm pretty sure that I heard Roman Reigns was committed to a hospital with ninth degree burns.
If he was murdered last night, why would he be in a hospital?
Well, he died in the hospital of his ninth degree burns.
Okay. We witnessed attempted murder that ended in actual murder.
I think if it's no longer attempted as long as somebody actually dies.
Well, this got pretty dark. Why don't you tell us what you saw?
So yeah, if you guys didn't watch Raw last night, do yourself a favor and go watch it, or at least just watch one specific segment, and that would be the confrontation of Roman Reigns and John Cena. We're building up this feud. John Cena comes out, Roman comes out, they start talking. Cena just goes full meta, drops a bunch of industry terms, which was very surprising, and just eviscerated him.
Wait. Cena was in the ring?
When he said that last night, yeah. Did
Really?
you not see him?
No, I just saw Roman talking to himself.
Do you even... Oh, God damn it.
How did you not know that was what he was going for?
How did you?
Because I'm hip to the internet culture.
Dude,
even though that meme is like 6 years old at this point.
It's an older meme, sir, but it checks out.
Why did you...
It barely checks out.
You're getting on my case, and you're the one who asked the question first.
So yeah, Roman got destroyed last night.
He did.
He cut the best promo of his career, though.
He did, and it just did not hold a candle to Cena's. I think the best part about that was the I'm a part-timer at this point, and I'm still doing my job better than you.
I think my favorite... Sorry.
Or when Roman like stuttered for a second, and Cena just goes, "It's called a promo. If you want to be the big dog, you better get good at it."
Yes, that was great.
My favorite line from that was, "I'm still here because you can't do your job." I marked out so hard over that.
I think my favorite is, I listen to the fans no matter what they say, even when they talk about heel turns.
Comment on this video your favorite Cena burn to Roman Reigns and hashtag it Cena burns.
No, just your favorite Cena moment in general.
Or rather this podcast, I guess, because technically, if you're not watching us on Facebook Live, you filthy heathens.
Or Twitch.
Or Twitch, either one. You filthy heathens. You aren't watching video feed. I mean, you're not watching video feed anyway. You're just looking at a picture of us looking amazing. Unfortunately, Josh isn't with us today.
Terrible news.
He had to attend a ball game with his father.
Hopefully it was not in Pittsburgh. Yeah. So tonight our topic is going to be promos. Specifically those that tend to be either shoots or work shoots. If you're not aware what that means that we are basically just going to talk about when wrestlers get real and drop some serious heat on people.
When wrestling gets real.
So yeah, like Cena's promo last night, definitely one of the biggest ones that I've seen in a long time. I would honestly call that the promo of the year. I don't remember hearing anything better than that all year.
He actually used the term heel turn.
Yes.
Like that is a huge no-no. I'm really surprised Vince gave that the go-ahead.
I'm almost wondering if like he's just like, Cena, do what you need to do. Cena dropped that word and Vince got back there. He's like, I didn't mean that far.
You took that a little bit too far. You need to calm down, you piece of shit. I've been calling a lot of people a piece of shit lately. I need to stop.
You have. You called me a piece of shit at least 3 times today.
Shut the hell up, you piece of shit.
4.
By the time this is over, I will have called Josie a piece of shit in the amount of times that are equal to Tony Nese's abs. Anyway.
So yeah,
ugh.
since we're definitely going to be talking about some later, do we want to? How do we want to structure this? Do we want to go? Let's talk about specific wrestlers and then their best things, or do we want to just kind of timeline backwards?
I mean, we could just turn this into like a round table discussion, like what our favorites were, like the moments that made us go, huh? You know what I mean?
Or holy fucking shit, did they actually just say that?
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like we can turn this into a whole big deal.
We could. I also got a couple that were just like, oh my god, why?
Yeah, Josie, why don't you go ahead and start us off? What's probably your favorite promo of all time?
That would actually have to be with The Rock, and I'm pretty sure like every wrestling fan has seen this one. And it's where one of the announcers is backstage trying to get an interview with him, and he knocks on the door, and The Rock comes out in a towel, like just dripping wet, saying that he was in the shower. And The Rock's just like, wait, what are you looking at? Are you looking at The Rock's strudel? You can't have The Rock's strudel, and just slams the door in his face. It turns out that The Rock completely forgot what he was supposed to say during that promo and just went off on his own. And so the look of like genuine surprise from the announcer, interviewer, whatever he was actual genuine. Like he was expecting something else.
Was it Joey Styles that was interviewing him in that one too, or Josh Matthews? I think it was one of those two.
I think it was Styles.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up real quick. Go ahead, bring us more about that.
Yeah, tell me a story.
That's pretty much it. The Rock forgot his lines and made up his own little spiel about you can't have The Rock strudel.
I mean, The Rock is kind of famous for forgetting his lines too. Like if you guys remember this 2012
even better.
promo where he wrote his lines on his arm while he was addressing the audience. Well, he was knife handing them.
Yeah. Turns out I was wrong on both my guesses. It was actually everyone's favorite announcer, Michael Cole.
That's a lie, sir. He's not my favorite announcer.
We all know
sarcasm.
it's JBL. We all know it's JBL.
Oh, gross. No.
Actually, another good moment of forgetting lines is when Kane teamed up with The Rock and Hogan for his famous backstage promo.
Oh, is this the greatest backstage promo ever?
Yes, where he starts mimicking The Rock and Hogan.
Where he just marked out on camera over Hulk Hogan.
Yes. It turns out he was supposed to do some silly stuff, but they didn't tell Hogan or Rock what he was going to do.
Oh my god. Mm-hmm.
So Kane just kind of started doing his own thing.
That's pretty intense.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense because of the way he's acting during that promo. He does the like downward flex, does the whole Adonis thing, and you can't see me right now, but that's what I'm doing. I'm basically miming him.
You got to remind me his name, Kane, the guy who plays Kane.
Glenn Jacobs.
Thank you. I can never remember for the life of me.
Chris, you owe me a soda.
I'll get you one.
He actually did say that during his little thing, he was actually trying to do the people's eyebrow under his mask too.
I don't think anybody could ever do that as well as The Rock can, though.
No.
And
let's be real on that one.
As soon as you find someone who can, though, that person has an immediate job.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there are people who can do really good facial expressions like The Rock can, but
not the eyebrow.
Oh man, speaking of facial expressions, I was watching 2001 pay-per-views. And there's a backstage segment where Jericho urinates in William Regal's tea. And the look on Regal's face after he drinks the tea is just the greatest goddamn thing in the world. Like, he just... I mean, like, the only way you could describe his face is a British man who just drank urine. It's the only way I can describe his face. It was glorious.
I know that look surprisingly too well.
But like, I know this episode is about work shoots and, you know, stuff that feels a little too real, but like, I think William Regal's facial expressions, circa 2001, 2002, are just the best.
Right.
He makes me wonder, like, was that supposed to happen? And they show that segment in 3 of the pay-per-views. They show it before Jericho and Regal's match at WrestleMania. They show it before their match at Backlash, and they show it in a bit on Judgment Day. And like, so I have that image just burned into my head of William Regal having the "I just tasted urine" face.
Oh, God.
I mean, that's pretty much why I know that look very well.
Have you been watching 2001 stuff?
A little bit, yeah. Not recently, but so yeah, Chris, what would be your favorite promo then?
My favorite
it can be work
promo.
shoot, it can be whatever you want it to be. Then we'll do mine, and then we'll talk about some other really good ones that are kind of just honorable mentions for us.
Well, I mean, like we gotta have some substance to this show, right? Like, we can't just go 12 minutes and say goodbye, everybody.
Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about bad ones after that. You gotta start strong and then end on the greatness.
You always end with greatness. I'm on this show.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my god. So there's just so many that I really liked. So way back in, I want to say 2007? That was the year that MVP was holding the United States Championship for like 400 million years.
That might have been 2008, but around that time.
The specific instance that
I know I was in
of,
high school.
Right, yeah. The specific instance I'm thinking of is when Matt challenged MVP to a beer drinking competition or something like that, and I had never seen Stone Cold before, right? You know, I just started watching in 2007. I'm kind of a piece of shit, right? And
Your words, not mine.
your words too. And I've never seen him before, and he was a surprise person to enter this drinking competition. And I had only heard of him from my mother's boyfriend at the time, because he's the one who got me into wrestling, and I hate him now, so, you know, whatever. And
well, he did one thing right.
oh, I guess so, yeah. And I just remember his music hit, and the crowd just erupted, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? And then JR goes on about the Bionic Redneck, and I was like, that's the dumbest nickname I've ever heard. And turns out that it was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Matt had hired Stone Cold as a replacement for him for the drinking
basically
contest.
Basically his champion.
Yeah. I was like, well, that's bullshit. That's the first time that I actually ever sympathized with a heel. And I was just like, well, that's just bullshit. Like, how can you do that? How can you just replace some idiot, or replace yourself with some idiot from the back? I still don't know this is Stone Cold at this point. I still don't know this is a multi-time WWE champion. I'm just losing my shit. Like, that's not fair. MVP should be able to pick someone too. This guy obviously looks like he can drink a few beers.
He could drink at least one.
No, 2. He had 2 in his hands. Oh man, we just got an angry face emote from Charles Duffy.
Aww.
Probably because he just
Charles,
learned that
aw.
I have only been watching wrestling since 2007.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, that's my favorite promo that I remember, only because I had no idea who Stone Cold was at the time. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
It's just I know you have a really good wrestling knowledge, and every time you bring up that you've only been watching since like that long, there's just so many things you didn't see live, and it's just like, aw, Chris.
It really makes me sad too. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely love the invasion angle. Like, I know it's really bad compared to what it could have been, but I genuinely love that, and I genuinely wish that I was a wrestling fan during that moment.
Hmm.
It's
But I
just-
mean, like, you would have been very young, and I don't know if you would have been able to appreciate it,
probably.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, not everyone's as like, not everyone is as coherent as you at your age. You know what I mean?
Wait, what's going on?
I made a bad joke.
Super bad.
Anyway, I called you the baby of the podcast.
I'm only like a couple months younger than you.
That's not true. You're like a baby. I'm sorry, I can't help myself.
Wait, Chris, aren't you the youngest one in the group?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I am slightly younger than he is.
Oh. Aw,
That's only like a
baby.
couple months. Because Chris, when's your birthday again?
May 13th.
Yeah, you're like a month older than
For
me.
those of you listening, May 13th. Save the date. That's my birthday. You can buy me stuff. Charles Duffy says, being a wrestling fan was depressing during the invasion. Why is that, Charles? Charles Duffy? CD?
Chris, you know what you should do?
Yo.
You should say back when I was your age and then describe what you did a month ago to Zach.
When I was your age, I started working with this insufferable person. That wasn't a month ago. That was like 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's like it's getting close to 6 months at this point.
All right, we
Chris.
should totally continue the stories. Zach, give us
Anyways,
your
You
favorite.
got sidetracked.
Anyways, the whole beer drinking contest. You're putting that as your favorite promos type stuff?
Of all time, solely because like I'm sitting here saying, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And it turned out it's the most over performer in professional wrestling history.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty
so-
much.
Only because I was such a goddamn idiot.
Yeah.
Zach, I think it's your turn.
Hit us with your favorite.
That's a tough one because I know the thing that I watch whenever I want to just like be pissed off at the wrestling world because it just makes me feel good when I listen to it, and that's CM Punk's pipe bomb. But you all know I love CM Punk. I've loved CM Punk since Ring of Honor. He
Mhm.
came to the E. I was happy about it. I wasn't happy about the ECW stuff. I was never not behind him, but I could find something that I might like more, but I pretty much just have to put the pipe bomb up there because it was so like out of the blue for me. Like I know the tension was there. I know he was planning on leaving, but he just comes out, helps R-Truth beat John Cena. Fun fact. R-Truth has beat Cena on a couple occasions.
Oh yeah, I mean,
He used to actually be like a legitimate top guy in the company, and now he's just running out telling people what's up.
what's up?
But yeah, so like that happened, and I missed it live. I don't remember what I was doing that night, but I know that I didn't watch that live because I had something to do,
Mhm.
and I went and hung out with some friends of mine that were wrestling fans at the time, and they were like, "Did you watch Raw last night?" And I'm like, "No." And then they told me what happened, and I was like, "All right, fine. Don't tell me anything. I'm gonna go watch this live." I still watched that today. I watched it today, and I still get goosebumps when he talks about it because it's insane how much they let him get away with.
Oh yeah, like,
because
yeah, I'm
It
sorry.
felt so shooty at the time that I was just like, he's never coming back. Like that bridge isn't just burned; it's disintegrated.
Like, and he's using all these backstage terms, and he even mentions Ring of Honor and Paul Heyman, which are big no-nos at the time.
And Colt Cabana.
And well, I mean, Colt Cabana is not necessarily a no-no. Colt Cabana had just left. He was Scotty Goldman, if you recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd put that up there, and that's purely because like when it comes to top wrestlers of all time, I still put CM Punk at least in the top 3 for me. So
I mean, you can't forget the follow up to that promo either. Like they suspended suspended CM Punk for a week, and then they did this worked shoot contract signing for CM Punk's like for a 1-year contract working with WWE. And I remember, like, if you recall, all the things that CM Punk asked for in his contract are things that the New Day have right now.
New Day ice cream, man.
New Day ice cream, New Day cereal, New Day, like, deciding the card, like, bits of the card for WrestleMania last year, like, just... There's like all these things that CM Punk put in his contract. I think that was kind of like a stab at him to give it all to New Day.
I mean, I know Vince is a very petty man, so it's totally possible.
And I also happen to know that all the things that Punk asked for in his contract were not in the script.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because it was one of those things where most of that frustration is coming from his real life situation, which also very much holds true in my honorable mention. But just like when you put that much of your actual emotion into a promo like that, it just feels so much more real, and it feels like you actually are invested in this because it's there. It's not just, you know, I'm reading the script that Vince handed me in the back or anything like that.
Maybe that's why I like Dolph Ziggler's promos so much.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler is one of those people that, while I may not be the biggest fan of him, and I know you're a huge Dolph Ziggler fan.
I'm
but
cuddling with my action figure right now.
That's fair. But
Oh my god.
his promo work is very good. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, I feel exactly the same way that I feel about Dolph Ziggler that I feel about Enzo, which I know you probably hate that, but I don't like Enzo, except I think his mic work is good, and that's pretty much to the T how I feel about Dolph Ziggler.
Honestly, you could have fooled me because, you know, when you and I had first started hanging out watching wrestling together, you were the guy who always mimed Enzo's promos, and you like acted like Enzo, and you were all about Enzo.
I mean, a lot of it's in jest, and I did really like him for a while. He kind of soured on me, but
Well, do you think it's because he doesn't make sense without Cass?
I mean, he doesn't. But like at the time, he had just moved up from NXT. He was still with Cass, and you know, this past couple months where he's gone from Cass exposed a lot of his weaknesses, and now I'm just it soured me a lot.
Well, he just needs time in the Performance Center. But this episode is not about Enzo Amore. It's about promos, which, I mean, I guess could be about Enzo in turn.
Yeah, let's go back to Josie. Josie, you got a runner up? I know we're kind of going backwards on a countdown.
No worries.
Going one runner up, and then whatever we want to talk about after that.
I do have an honorable mention before my runner up though.
Okay.
And I don't know if this one actually belongs in the best promos or the worst promos, but it belongs to Booker T. And I think I know which.
I was going to say
which
was Steiner Math, but
no, it's not Steiner Math, and it's Booker T when he's calling out Hulk Hogan
Oh,
in his infamous promo.
Don't say what he said on the show, please.
No, I'm not going to say what he said because I'm pretty sure you two will get lynched for it.
I'm already getting
and I'm
lynched
not
right
even
now.
going to say it.
Exactly. Well, I'm brown. I'll get away with it. You guys get in trouble right away.
For even allowing you to say it on the show.
Yes.
I'm gonna get hung, and you know, whatever.
No,
Don't you dare!
no, but
We're coming for you, sucker.
let's just say he didn't use the word sucker.
Yeah, we know.
Oh my god. Yeah. But that would have to be my runner-up. But I just don't know if it's the best promo or the worst promo.
Oh my god! And you can tell that Booker.
Yeah, he didn't mean to say that.
No, I mean, like, it just came so naturally out of his mouth. It's kind of like when you swear for the first time in front of your mom.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When you're a teenager and you're just...
It reminds me of that promo. It was Jericho and The Rock, and they're basically talking to Shane and Stephanie, and Jericho just drops something on him or on Stephanie because they had that whole like rivalry at the time. And then The Rock has this thing against Shane and calls him a silver spoon motherfucker and was supposed to get cut off before he dropped the full line, but nobody cut him off. So on live television, The Rock, because this was on Raw,
Yeah.
The Rock called Shane McMahon a silver spoon motherfucker, completely uncensored on live television.
It was great. Apparently, Stephanie was supposed to cut him off, and she missed her cue.
She was supposed to
Yeah.
cut him off, and
She missed her cue.
she heard Mother, and she was like, "Oh shit!"
Yep.
Say something.
supposed to say something.
He just said it.
Oh fuck!
And it's funny too because if you look at Jericho's face in there, he's like, "Oh shit, he didn't get cut off."
Oh no! Oh no!
This is gonna be a TVMA episode, not a
Oh.
TV14.
Oh
no.
shit!
No.
I just realized my actual favorite promo in all of professional wrestling history. Oh my god!
It's Thunder
probably-
Math.
No,
It's probably my runner-up.
no, it's DX.
Oh,
Yeah, this is a really
so it's not
good
my
one.
runner-up.
So
Go
the
ahead.
backstory on this one is that DX were being really, really raunchy on TV, and I can't believe I didn't. This didn't just like pop in my head. I'm so sorry. They were being really raunchy and really like they were referencing their balls a lot. They were just being, they were just being frat boys. Well, Vince received a letter from the USA Network. And they listed a bunch of stuff that they couldn't say between the hours of, what was it? It was like 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Oh god.
So Shawn Michaels and Triple H took this list, built a podium, did like a State of the Union address, and they listed every fucking word off of that list during a promo.
Oh my god!
My other favorite thing about that was that was like right around the Bill Clinton Monica Lewinsky scandal.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that Shawn Michaels said was, "I did have sexual relations with that woman."
Yes.
I
Just
did not
complete
sleep.
dig at the president at the time.
I did not sleep with that young intern. As a matter of fact, I was up all night.
Oh.
Oh my god!
But like Triple H, like the image of Triple H standing at the podium and just saying, between the hours of 9 p.m. and 11 p.m., we will not be using the following terms. It was like, oh, the only reason I know this promo, right? The only reason I know this promo exists because I didn't watch it live, obviously, is because of the Monday Night War documentary. And I was like, oh my god, I have to find an uncensored version of this. Because I for the first time, I heard Triple H and Shawn Michaels both say "motherfucker" and "shut your fucking mouth." It was just amusing for me at the time because I'm a teenager.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that's kind of the whole thing. Is a lot of the DX promos were just like, how much can we just push the envelope right here?
Yep.
well, apparently USA found it hilarious.
I mean, it's kind of like I'm gonna bring up something completely unrelated to wrestling. It's kind of like the reason why George Carlin's one of his most famous specials is the 7 words you can't say on television.
But don't say
Yes.
any of them
They
here.
pretty much just did that. And I don't remember which one came out, but I want to say Carlin's special came out first, just because.
It did in
Yeah,
the,
that special
the
is
80s.
actually pretty old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it shares a lot of things about, or the two mediums share a lot, is what I'm trying
They
to
do.
say. Anyway, Josie, you have a runner up.
Oh yes, my runner-up. I actually
Did you forget already?
no, because I thought you were going to say it because with Zach's Jericho reference, I thought you were going to say my runner-up, and that is the 1004 Holds of Jericho promo,
That one's pretty funny.
where he just sat there and listed all the holds that he knows.
And then
And,
WCW goes to
Number
commercial.
1, armbar.
Actually, apparently he actually did release a list not too long ago, the complete 1004 holds.
I think
or
that's just
moves.
the title of his third book.
I think so, but they actually have the entire list of all 1004 holds.
All right, I'm gonna Google this shit right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 1, armbar. Number 2, Canadian armbar.
Oh no, it's number 1, arm drag. Number 2, arm bar. Number 3 is the moss-covered 3-handled family grundzundel.
What?
Yep. Number
My
4,
favorite hold.
number 4, the arm bar.
Oh my god.
Number 5, the Saskatchewan spinning nerve hold.
What is
Number
that?
6 is I don't know.
Go into
The
detail. I want to know.
Number 6 is the body slam. Number 7 is the drop toe hold. Number 8, arm bar again.
Oh my god.
Number
Yeah,
9
that-
is
that
the
was-
yeah, that was the joke. Like every 5 or 6 moves was armbar.
Oh my god.
It was also funny because like these are supposed to be holds, and there are things in there that are definitely not holds. Like an arm drag is not a hold. A body slam,
Is
as
not a
much as
hold.
I want it to be, is not a hold.
Number 12, knife edge chop. That is not a hold.
And what makes this so great is when they cut to commercial during his infamous list, he starts just going off on the town, like how much that town sucks, the people are stupid, they'll never be as great as him, he's the greatest thing that's ever happened to them. And then the moment he comes back on TV, he picks up on the list right where he left off, like nothing ever happened.
No, it's because
Yeah.
he's still listing it while they're on commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was.
And I thought it was great because I remember seeing the whole the promo on TV, and then it was actually years later when I thanks to YouTube and everything, where I saw the entire thing where they showed it without commercials, and it was amazing. I laughed and I laughed.
Flying knee lift, off the second rope knee lift, off the top rope somersault leg drop, jumping knee strike, headlock,
Yep.
and hold number 1004, the armbar.
Which is
Of
funny
course it
because
is.
I think after the entire list, he does not mention like the lion salt or the lion tamer ones.
Oh, right armbar. Here's one that's different from a regular armbar. Left armbar.
Okay. as opposed to a regular armbar. What?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, armbar is listed in here like 400 times.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my runner up.
Hey, Chris, what's your runner-up?
My second favorite promo in the history of professional wrestling. Oh, man.
Hold on. Do you have an honorable mention?
I have an honorable mention.
Go for it.
No, I'm not doing it. Not on this show.
Of course you did. What the hell was the Jericho armbar?
Is
It's an
that
armbar
another hold
done
on the
by Chris
list?
Jericho.
It's in there. It just says Jericho armbar. What the fuck?
Some of those I really want to know what they are.
No. Oh, never mind.
Alright, Chris.
There he goes. I see the line.
Let's get to your honorable mention and your runner-up.
I mean, I don't really have an honorable mention.
That's fair.
I honestly would put like my second favorite as like anything John Cena's done in the last year. Like anytime they give him a microphone, it's just actually like printing money. He's like the the golden egg laying goose.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because over the like between 2010 and 2016, I did not like John Cena. I didn't, and that might have just been because the internet told me not to.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned so much about John Cena the person that every one of his promos is just so good to me now, and I have no idea why. Like I'll go back and I'll watch his stuff from 2000. I want to say 3 when he debuted. Is that when he debuted? 2003, 2002,
Let me check.
2002.
I'll pull it up while you.
It probably is
Go on,
then,
and I'll-
but like I see some of his like old like rap stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and god damn it, he is actually talented. Like
He
I
is.
mean, you don't get to be the top baby face of the company without being talented.
while being part time still. You forgot that part, Zach.
He debuted in 2002.
Oh man, almost called it. That close.
Yeah. You're close.
But he did. I think he started doing the hip hop thing when he dressed as Vanilla Ice for a Halloween party, and then it just stuck
I
with
think
him.
so. That sounds about right.
Yeah. But every single promo he's done after that has just been absolute gold, and everything he's been doing in 2016, because he has the freedom to do whatever the hell he wants right now, and not get punished. Case in point, exactly what happened last night on Raw. And he does it tastefully. He doesn't just throw industry terms around. He pokes fun at the fans using the term heel turn. Pokes fun at Roman using the terminology promo. Like, this is not the first time he's done shit like this, and it gets progressively better as time passes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. You're listening to the Average Guys Pro Wrestling Podcast live on Facebook and Twitter.
So I definitely have a runner-up, and then I have a second favorite. The runner-up one is just a very subtle thing. The wife of the person who delivered my favorite promo of all time, one AJ Lee, was in a feud with the Bellas at the time, and I don't remember the context, and I, for some reason, cannot find it, but I know that this was said because it's one of my favorite things. And I don't remember exactly how she phrased it, but she essentially made the insinuation to Nikki Bella that talent was not a sexually transmitted disease.
Oh my God.
Talent's not a disease anyway.
And while this was important, because nobody really had acknowledged that Cena and Nikki Bella were dating at the time, so...
Mm-hmm.
It was just a big deal.
Think... I'm what?
It was just a big deal, is what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was very interesting to see that happen.
Anyway.
But my favorite promo of all time comes from one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, from The Rock. And this is more of a kind of just a segment thing than a promo. It was way back when he was in the Nation of Domination. They had this whole segment where The Rock is very shaky with the leader of the nation at the time, Farouk. And The Rock wanted to show everybody in the group that he does actually care about them, and he wants to make sure that they know that they're appreciated by him. So D'Lo and Mark Henry, he gets them very nice, solid gold Rolexes. Very, very wonderful picture, very wonderful presents. But he saved the greatest present for the leader, Farouk. He gave him one gigantic signed, so it was autographed, photo of the People's Champ, which Farouk graciously did not accept, very ungraciously. So that kind of just built the whole tension between the leader. Is he buys the cronies solid gold Rolexes, and then Farouk gets here's a giant picture of me so that you know that I love you.
I mean, in The Rock's twisted, fucked up head, that probably is a much better gift.
It really is.
What do you mean, just in his head? That is a better gift. You're telling me, Chris, that you would rather have a solid gold Rolex than an autographed photo of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And this isn't like a small autographed photo. This is like a full-size poster.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how did The Rock present this to him? Like,
he came out with a bunch of presents. They were in like gift boxes and everything, and then comes out with this large package for Farouk with that. And it's really funny because they had referenced this later on in a table for three, where they're all sitting there, and it's Farouk, D'Lo Brown, and Mark Henry, and I think Triple H comes out of nowhere and is like, "Hey, got these presents we're told to give to you. They said to have you open yours last." To Ron Simmons, and in case you didn't know, Ron Simmons and Farouk, same person.
Damn.
Yeah. Uh, so Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown open theirs, and they're actual like really nice watches in there, and they start laughing, and then Rod Simmons is like, "God damn it!" and then opens his, and it's another signed picture of The Rock.
Oh my god.
This is so funny because, like, this is one thing that happened on Raw like 20, 25 years ago, and then they just bring it right back up, and just I watched that episode and just died laughing, and it's really bad because the person I was watching with at the time is a wrestling fan but didn't watch at the time, so he's like, "Why is that so funny?" And I was like, no. We'll go find this. I'll pull up the thing that makes this relevant.
I have to help you be a better wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You know what? As someone who's actually bought a Rolex before, I would rather have a signed poster of Dwayne Johnson.
Can I just have Dwayne Johnson? Like, I'm not gay or anything.
Oh.
But I would just love to have, like, can I just have him as my best friend?
I tweeted at him one time asking that and didn't get a response. I was a little sad about that.
All right, I'm going to tweet at him right now, see if I get a response. Live on the air!
Live tweet this episode. All right, I'm going to do the same thing, Chris, and whoever gets the response wins.
All right, so this is to be The Rock's best friend. This is the challenge. Oh, God, what's his Twitter handle? Fuck!
You suck. You don't even follow him on Twitter.
There he is.
You know, I tweeted at him not too long ago, and I actually got more response from the fans, and nothing from him. I'm kind of sad about that.
Will you be my best friend? Asking... shit. That sounds creepy. Just, will you be my best friend and picture of overly attached girlfriend from, like, a million years ago?
Hey, I don't care what anyone says. She's pretty.
I need a new best friend. Fuck, how do I follow this up? Sometimes I just, like, write stuff and I'm like, shit, how do I follow that up?
That's fair.
I think you and I will get along great. No, that sounds creepy as fuck, too.
How about you just keep it simple at Dwayne Johnson, will you be my best friend?
Will you be my best friend?
I mean, I said Chris and I have a contest. Whoever can get The Rock to be their best friend first wins. Help me out, Dwayne.
I have to beat Zach. That's what I will follow it up with. I have to beat Zach.
I mean, between the two of us, I have more responses from WWE wrestlers than you do.
Did you see my post to Baron Corbin?
Did he
Yes.
respond though?
Oh, it was liked. It was very well liked.
But it wasn't liked, but it wasn't responded to by him, was it?
Joey Ryan liked it.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. I mean, I essentially just got Aleister Black to respond to my tweet by saying that I want his cat because his cat is adorable.
All right, guys, that's enough of that dueling promo between Zach and I.
All right. So yeah. So we kind of brought up our runner-up. We brought up some honorable mentions. We brought up our favorites. What's the worst promo you've ever seen, Josie?
Anything by Steve Blackman.
I mean, guys that come over from MMA. That's right. Like Steve Blackman came from MMA, right? I'm not just
no.
an idiot.
That was Shamrock.
But Steve Blackman has a lot of MMA background, though.
Like a lot of those guys who come from that backdrop, come from that area, they don't really have promo skills.
I
Well,
mean,
the older
Conor
ones.
McGregor?
Yeah, like the older guys, sure, but the newer generation of MMA fighters.
Well, it's because they understand that they're
Are-
entertainers. They get it. They're
Yeah.
not. They're not just like, I'm gonna
But
go in
like-
the ring and beat some dude up. You know? That was an awful accent.
Why are they all suddenly Russian, Chris?
All of them. Every one of them are Russian.
All of them.
Every single MMA fighter, according to Chris, is Russian. Even Nate Diaz.
Fight me.
So, one promo that I remember Steve Blackman doing was he was talking about. I can't even remember who he was fighting at the time, but he was talking about how he was going to beat him up, yada yada yada, and then slowly he just kind of like slowly stops talking, and like mumbles a little bit, and then like stares off, and then the woman, she like taps him, and then he like shakes like he just woke up. He's like, waking up's the hardest thing to do. What? Huh?
What?
Yeah.
That's
and
pretty
she just
dumb.
looks at her. She's like, what? And he's like, and then he just like screams. He's like, waking up's the hardest thing to do, and then just walks off. I was like, what just happened here?
I think you have it mixed up, Josie. That promo sounds amazing.
I mean, sure, like comedy wise, it's awesome, but actual promo wise, it's just god awful.
I think that's the best promo of all time. That has to be it.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it right there.
That's it. Endgame. Show's over, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, so that's probably the worst one that I can think of.
Oh, man. I would have to give it to Michael Cole's backstage segment with Heidenreich.
Oh my god, the one where it was basically implied that he got raped?
It wasn't even implied. Poor Michael Cole. Like, oh my god. Raise money for Michael Cole. Like, he hasn't had any support since then. Everyone just hates him. And the poor guy, he got his ass destroyed. Like,
Whoa.
I don't know how well endowed Heidenreich is, but if certain people are to be believed, Michael Cole should have died that day.
Probably.
Or maybe he did, and then we were given this unbearable clone.
That is entirely possible.
But anyway, in all seriousness, it was a very poor taste promo, just like the one I just cut right now.
I mean, it wasn't Katie Vick bad, but yeah, it was definitely up there.
That might actually take it home if that's yours.
That isn't mine, but I figured I would bring that up. If we're gonna bring up cringy things like that, Katie Vick has to be brought up.
Katie Vick is a huge problem. Like it's implied necrophilia. Like that's
Ew.
not okay. Like when we're talking
Ew.
when we induct Kane finally into the Hall of Fame and Triple H, both of them, Katie Vick will be tastefully left out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh. Just
Ew.
I'm gonna go a little bit more positive on mine.
Zach, please be candid
Oh,
and fun
thank
like
you.
always.
Yeah. So I think the worst promo I've ever seen, and I'm gonna give honorable mention to Lucha Thing because that's just so bad.
Lucha thing. You need to elaborate on that one.
You guys don't know about the really bad Kalisto promo?
You will have to help me out with that.
Yeah.
Oh God,
I don't watch
it was-
TV. Remember?
It was. I think it might have even been on a pay-per-view. I don't remember. It's in the intro to Botchamania, and that's why I remember it all the time. But there was this time where I want to say it was Renee was interviewing Kalisto right before a match, and for some reason he just had like the worst nerves, and he's just like, you just gotta you gotta do the lucha thing, and then just like left, and it's just like, what the fuck just happened?
You gotta
I
do the
remember
lucha
that.
thing, Zach. God damn it!
Oh my god, I remember that.
Lucha thing, man.
How are you not
Lucha thing.
currently doing the lucha thing?
I don't know. I need a mask.
I got one
I'll get you a lucha mask.
from
Sure,
back in my
I'll wear it.
super awful yarding days. Ugh.
Oh my god. Everyone gets a mask on the show now.
What?
Sweet.
I have the band mask, so I'm the original. I'm the original
yep.
Lucha.
Me and Josie will
Lucha
be the
average.
conquistadors.
No, you can't give me a lucha mask because you're racist.
Whoa!
Can I be
If you-
Mr. America? We still don't know his true identity. It could be me.
It could be.
Could even be a goat. Who knows?
Yeah.
One of them.
So my actual like worst promo that I can think of has to be the "Suffer and Succotash" line that Roman Reigns dropped last year.
Oh,
my
goddamn it.
God.
You took my runner-up.
I
You
forgot.
took my
Okay,
runner-up.
all about
I
that.
found Josie's runner-up, but yeah, just apparently here's the worst part about that. Apparently, that line was not a thing that Roman wanted to say, and I don't blame him because it was just so bad.
That was in the
It really
script.
It
was.
came directly from Vince, and you know, at the risk of never being able to work for the WWE ever in my life,
Uh-huh.
what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh my god, that was
Why-
bad.
Why in God's name would you ever think that putting suffering succotash in your top babyface's promo be a good idea unless it was 100% said in sarcasm, but it wasn't.
Okay, that might actually,
Oh, yeah.
that part might have actually been Roman's fault. Like he might have been told to say it sarcastically. But as we all know, Roman's promo work up until recently, like as when I say recently, I mean 24 hours ago, has been really, really shoddy. Like he doesn't know which words to emphasize. He doesn't know like where he's going. His best promos have just been like, "I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm just the guy." You know, guys.
And here's the thing, like Roman has had very good promos, and I will say, you know, his promo last night was very good, but I still think his best promo, and it's the one that got him the most quote unquote over, is the come out right after WrestleMania,
Yes.
let them boo him for like 5 solid minutes, and then just, it's my yard now, rock mic.
Okay,
That was
Yeah.
perfect. I loved that.
that's an
promo.
incidental
great.
promo. That's because that promo works because he's the guy who just retired The Undertaker, and
Yeah.
and he just had to say those words, and the crowd would just destroy him. Like he had to
I mean,
leave
that-
with bodyguards from that arena.
That was all he needed to say. That's what
Yeah.
made it so good.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean, though. Like, I can't give that credit to Roman because those words, there's no emphasis, there's no like story to be told. It's just like, come out, say those words, leave.
I don't know that you could say there's no story to be told there.
The story was told at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, that promo being as good as it was not Roman's doing.
Yeah, I mean, like anybody who came out
Yeah, like it was.
immediately after retiring The Undertaker, if the fans weren't a big fan of it, it was gonna be.
It was the
Food
perfect.
like that.
It was the perfect
Yeah.
storm of the Undertaker retiring, Roman Reigns being the guy to do it, the fans already hating Roman Reigns, and then just what was it? This is my yard now. Yeah, 5 words. This is my yard now. Yeah, had to double check. And then 5 words that would simply just get that crowd to hate you even more. I'm still not convinced that they're not like they're pushing him as if he's a face, but I'm not convinced that they're not actually like secretly treating him like a heel. Because
I want to go off this whole thing of there are certain characters that exist in the WWE that are above heel face. I 100% think that is the case because Roman is one of those characters that isn't really a heel or a face. It's the same thing with Brock Lesnar. If you told me if Brock Lesnar was a heel or a face, would you actually have an answer to that?
Brock Lesnar is actually a babyface.
I was going to say he was a tweener.
Now he is actually being treated like Raw's top babyface. Like, not even kidding.
I don't think he is. I think he's above it.
That's-
And Well, we're gonna do an episode on heels and baby faces later on, and I'll bring this up then.
Okay.
This is definitely a discussion that we can go through much longer, and I want Josh here for that discussion too, because I know Josh has some strong opinions on that too.
Yeah, Josh is average guy's top heel.
For like until this episode, because I got some mean things to say.
Oh shit!
Whoa! Are you gonna call Bailey bad again? Because that was the worst thing ever said on this
Like
show.
that was suffer and succotash levels of heel turn.
No, I've actually got worse than that.
What are you turning on Charlotte now?
No. I'll wait my turn. I'll wait my turn.
All right, I'm excited.
Well, I'm done with what I was saying. So if you want to start talking about something now and drop the biggest heel promo of the Average Guys Pro Wrestling podcast, go ahead.
Okay. First, I want to do my honorable mention for the worst promos, and it's got to be Dana Brooke. Like everything that she says sounds like it just came from a porno.
Sounds hot.
And yeah, that's
Following
pretty much
her
how
now.
it sounds. She like every time she talks, it sounds like she's acting in a porno, and I don't know why.
Because you've watched enough
everything.
porn in your life to know what a porn star sounds like.
So yeah, honorable mention that. Just
Way
Dana
to
Brooke's
dodge
promo
that
work.
topic.
Honorable mention: anything Dana Brooks says. Got it.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay. And now probably for the meanest thing I've ever said on this show.
Okay, drum
And
roll.
this is the set. This is well, since Zach took my runner-up, my new runner-up. Anything Bailey has said since she joined the main roster.
Oh shit! Shit!
'Cause
Who are you and what have you done with Joe?
Holy fuck! Where's my friend?
I had to stop and think about it while you guys were talking just now. But yeah, anything Bailey has said this, like any promo work she's done since she joined main roster, has puppies and love and friendship. Oh my god, it is mind-numbingly boring.
I have to admit, the promos that she cut where she's like, I don't want to do bruises, I want to put smiles on faces, have been really dumb, so...
They really haven't. She's like, I'm going to win the WWE Women's Championship for the WWE Universe and my family. I'm like, oh my god, Bailey, shut the hell up.
Wow.
Here's the thing. I think that the biggest problem that they have with Bailey is they're treating her like they treat any underdog after Daniel Bryan. They have to constantly be going up. They have to be the most relatable thing ever. And the problem is that the way Vince sees people like that are just these like idiotic fans who think that they know everything about the business, but they're really bad and they're constantly chasing. And Bailey is the ultimate personification of that idea.
But the problem is, like, don't force it down our throats. We get it. We understand.
Yeah,
She's an underdog.
we really do.
But she didn't-
I understand she's an underdog, but I would like it if she took that underdog, and when she actually won the title, if she just switched, just like snapped, and she's like, I'm the greatest thing in the world right now. I went from being a zero to a hero. Screw all you guys. You can hug off. You can hug off. Go hug yourself. I'm done.
So
Until
Josh,
she has a Snickers bar.
Josh Goodhand, our very own, says Josie hating and Josie frowny face, Josie hating, and Bailey is booty. He also says no promo is greater than the Miz on Talking Smack, which that's a good one to segue into.
It really is. Josh, don't fear. I love Bailey. She's still adorable, but my God, her character is just getting stale and boring, and it needs to move on.
I just keep hearing Josie going further and further down the heel rabbit hole.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we definitely brought up the big one, and I think it's a good one to close on. Let's talk about the entirety of the Daniel Bryan Miz feud that existed on SmackDown last year and early into this year.
May it rest in peace.
Didn't that actually transition into the Cena Miz feud?
Yeah,
Kind of. It was.
it went to Ambrose, and then it went to Cena, and then it went back to Ambrose.
Okay.
Because it became clearer and clearer that the E's doctors were not going to clear Daniel Bryan to perform. So the promo work they were doing on Talking Smack just ended up being for nothing. Like, it was just a gigantic what's the term I'm thinking of here?
Waste of time.
Like a blue ball situation. You know what I mean? There's no payoff.
Yeah.
So I think they just scrapped the idea and moved it over to Ambrose.
Gotcha. So once again, we're talking about my ex. Good job. Yay.
Ambrose?
No, just being a big blue ball situation. Awesome job.
We're gonna have to talk about that off the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll fix that in editing.
Okay, wow. Moving right along. That whole situation was yeah, see, we got teary eyes from Duffy and from Josh. Oh man.
Oh.
Don't cry, Josh. We love you. But that whole situation, like Daniel Bryan's reactions to The Miz just getting in his face, The Miz blowing up on Daniel Bryan, talking about how he's a safe worker. Like, oh my god, I would take that as the biggest compliment. But The Miz just fucking turned it on him. Ugh. Ugh.
Yep.
Does nobody else have anything to say about it?
I just where do I begin on this? This is like the most real promo I think I've ever heard since CM Punk's pipe bomb, because it comes from a lot of the real life frustration that exists within The Miz. The Miz has been consistently a fantastic worker, the most respectful person to the business that he could be. I mean, you think about it. When he was kicked out of the locker room, he was kicked out by Chris Benoit, and then you had that whole thing happen with him. He still respected wrestling tradition enough to know that he's not allowed back into the locker room until the person who kicked him out is there. And the person who kicked him out is no longer alive. He's still respecting it enough to where the Undertaker has to be like, "Yo, kid, get back in
What
here."
the fuck you doing? Keep rolling.
Yeah, so it's one of those promos, and like I said earlier, when a promo comes from the heart like that, it really you expect the most intensity from it, and it's what happened because we talked about perfect storms, and so does What Culture all the time apparently, and like there was the comment made by Daniel Bryan. There was Miz's like fucking red ass face. There was Maurice basically like backing away from him. There was Renee Young, who was like pushing for them to stop, and her reaction felt real too. Like, that was terrifying. When you watch that and you're watching it for the first time, you're scared. Like, you have no idea what's gonna happen.
I'll be out in a little bit.
So, you gonna leave us, Josie?
You guys heard that?
Yeah, we did.
we did.
Crap. I'm sorry. I could have swore I hit like mute all mics and
No, you're fine, man.
It's all right. And then Daniel Bryan's stoic face during that too. That was like it all of the elements coming together, and then The Miz just screaming at him. It just made it all feel so awkward and so real, and you feel really uncomfortable thinking that you just watched a live TV argument between two stars. Like, I showed that to a non-wrestling fan, and you know what he said?
What did he say?
He asked which one of those guys got fired.
That's fair, because and what I think with that one is part of it started off like they gave him the cues. It's, hey, do this, and just the whole intensity in The Miz picked up. He's like, oh, All right, I'm going to do this the way you want me to do it. And then he started doing it and just like it gave him an outlet to vent his frustration. It's like when you're like joking with somebody and then your emotions start to get a hold of you and then you just start ripping into them because of any like pent up frustration you have.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you think that it starts off scripted and then just goes off the wall because you just have to do it. And I think that you can actually see that there, because when you look at it, Daniel Bryan isn't very like shocked by it at first, and as it goes on, he's like, "Holy shit! Okay, what the fuck? What Pandora's box did I just open?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Daniel Bryan's reaction is just like, "Oh shit, I gotta get out of here."
Yeah,
and Miz's intensity is just unrivaled. Like, there's a reason why he's the Intercontinental Champion, and I think the Intercontinental Champion has moved from being the Workhorse Championship, from what it was back in 2001 to say 15, to being like the Talkers Championship. Because when's the last time we saw The Miz wrestle a match in front of a crowd? Because I don't want to count SummerSlam.
Please, that was like a gaggle of people.
You shut up.
I mean, he did have that 3-on-3 match last week, and I actually do agree with you that it's kind of that whole Talkers Championship, because since the Miz has had the Miz won it after WrestleMania 2 years ago off of Zack Ryder. It's been it went from the Miz, it went to Dolph Ziggler, who has shown very, very big intensity, and especially leading into that feud, his promo that he cut right before the title match, when it was the title versus career match, was very intense and very real. And you know, we'll give Dean Ambrose a lot of shit, but he does the comedy promos better than most people can. And that's one of the things that I do enjoy about Dean Ambrose's character, is that while I may not be the biggest fan of him in the ring, and that's kind of my opinion on that, but his mic work is better than anyone else's in the Shield. When he was in the Shield, I would have put him as the best person coming out of there, fully well knowing who Tyler Black was.
Damn.
And you know, Roman has had more main roster success because he's been pushed as, you know, this top guy, but Dean is still probably, in my opinion, the best person from there. And you know, I'll give Seth better ring work, but when it comes to mic skills, Dean Ambrose is just the best. And I think that's why he should, like, I grew tired of that feud, but him having the Intercontinental title was very good for him. And then putting it back on the Miz makes sense because you want to do that. The problem is that now where are you going to put the title if you want to keep it that way?
That's a very good point. And I want to bring up also that when Dean was Intercontinental Champion for that time, that stint at WrestleMania when he went up against Corbin during that rivalry, like, how many matches did he wrestle?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it wasn't too many.
Yeah, like, and every time you saw him on TV, it was cutting a promo. I think that's where the Intercontinental Championship went. Like, the United States title is more of the workhorse, more of the like actual technical wrestling skill championship, because like Kevin Owens is great, AJ Styles is great. The previous holders of the U.S. title were pretty good too. Like, I mean, I hate on Roman Reigns a lot, but yeah, he's aight. And
I always saw the U.S. title as what's it called? I don't, maybe workhorse is the right word for it, but I'm failing to find the actual word. But I always saw it as the move over, give someone else a chance title, because it seems like whenever someone holds like the Universal title, the WWE Championship, after they step down, they hold the IC or the US title to give that other guy a chance.
Well, like, That's what happened with John Cena. That's what's happened with Roman Reigns even. It happened with The Miz too. Like, yeah, there's a lot of clues in there that it's the step back championship. But like, think about all the guys who have held the Intercontinental Championship who didn't quite get up there to World Championships.
Yeah.
Honky Tonk Man is the first one that comes to mind.
I think his guitar was more over than him.
I mean, it was. Let's be fair here.
The whole gimmick of Honky Tonk Man was more over than the man himself.
But I think over the last like 10 years, we've seen a slow transition where it was the United States Championship when it was reintroduced in like 2005, where that was the one where it's like the Mike Skills champion. And then we've kind of seen a switch, like a soft switch. It was very slow, very, very progressive.
Mm-hmm.
But it happened. And now that I'm realizing it, like, all the clues were there along the road. And that's the Intercontinental Championship. The Intercontinental Championship is the promo championship, to keep topic with the episode.
Yeah, it definitely can be considered that. Because, going back to Dean Ambrose, he was in that feud, that like triple threat feud with John Cena and AJ Styles around last year, around No Mercy, where he was pretty much like, he went into John Cena. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was about when we started all watching together, but Dean had this. He cut this promo against Cena where he's just and it's a little tired to see everyone call out the same exact thing in John Cena, where it's like, I put all this work in. You, on your day off, you get to fly your little private jet. You get to go to your little Kids' Choice Awards. What am I doing on that day? I'm working a house show. Yeah. So, like, I hate when people just repetitively repeat things ad nauseum. Jinder Mahal. But
hang on.
But it's
we
one
need
of
to finish
things
this episode addressing our native people in our native tongue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But the whole attacking the part-timer for being a part-timer works very well as long as the character doing it is one of those people that, you truly feel that that's what they're going to do. Because if I remember right, Dean Ambrose actually had the most matches that year.
Yep. So
when he's saying, I'm putting in all this work, you're being a big shot celebrity doing 2 movies last year, it has meaning. Because when somebody like Roman does that, Roman gets a lot of breaks. I'm not discounting Roman's work ethic. Roman is a very good worker, but when you compare it to somebody like Dean Ambrose and you have them cut the same exact promo on somebody, it's going to have more meaning coming from Ambrose.
Yeah,
I can give you that. I can agree with that. Because there's more feeling, there's more emotion, there's more oomph behind it.
Well, it's like they say with your character. Your character needs to be an exaggeration of your true self to be truly like what it needs to be. And when you apply that same logic to a promo, it's very noticeable.
It's actually kind of surprising that they moved up guys like Shinsuke and Shinsuke not so much, because his promo work is, I'm gonna get shot tonight. His promo work is not exactly great.
It's good, but it's good to the extent that his English
allows it to be.
While it is good, is not perfect.
But it's kind of weird that they moved up Bobby Roode to SmackDown, because Bobby Roode's got some good promos.
I mean, the whole thing with Bobby Roode is a lot of what the rumors going around, and this is pure rumors, is that he's essentially taking that same spot Baron Corbin had.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, if that's true, God, yes.
Did you guys not know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well.
No, I've been
breaking news to Chris and Josie.
Holy shit.
Baron Corbin, Bobby Roode is taking Baron Corbin's spot.
Ooh.
According to rumors.
Thank God. Like, if this rumor is true, then, like, we did it, guys. We did it, Haaf crew. We did it, Haaf fans. Our outcry, our public outcry, and our hate for Baron Corbin. We did it. We did it.
I think Baron Corbin did a lot of that to himself.
Shut up. We did it.
Yeah. I was focusing on the Daniel Bryan rumor. I didn't know anything about Rude taking Baron's spot.
Apparently, I read more dirt sheets than you guys.
Well, I mean, I don't really
Apparently.
do much on my days off except for also work.
I mean, that's fair.
I take naps.
We need to find you a job.
A yob.
Well,
Josie, he need a job. Someone
guys,
offer him a job.
we talked about DX. We talked about Dolph Ziggler. We talked about CM Punk. We talked about John Cena. We talked about fucking everything is what we talked about. Talked about Bobby Roode. We talked about the Promo Championship. I'm sorry, I misspoke. The Intercontinental Championship. I think it's time.
It's very funny because that's our trivia championship.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think it's time to bring this shit home. First off, I would like to ask you, Zach. You instated the Trivia Championship. Can our viewers challenge for this championship?
They can do whatever they want. If they want to challenge Josh accepts the challenge. He can take them on.
Why don't we do like a little number one contendership thing, huh?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Probably what we'll end up doing is we'll probably end up pulling up some questions. We'll post them to our Facebook page. You guys can answer on there. Whoever gets the most right, we'll kind of just spread them out over a couple weeks, and then probably near the end of, I don't know if we'll do it near the end of No Mercy, maybe after TLC or something like that, we'll have one of those people, whoever has the most correct answers, and I'll kind of set up the rules and everything, and then they can come in, be the number one contender, call into the show, and challenge Josh.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that too.
But we got to make them hard. We got to make the questions difficult so that the listeners can't just Google them.
What is John Cena's real name?
Jonathan Q. Cena.
Damn it. All right, I'm out of hard questions.
Anyway, guys.
I did not see that question coming.
Oh, I get it. It's about John Cena. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Average Guys Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm Haaf, that's Zach, that's Josie. And Josh, we know you're with us in spirit, buddy. We love you, and we hope you guys have an average night.